Hey guys, Shadowz here, and today this is going to be a little bit of a different video. Today's video is going to be called Gears of War Road to E3. This is going to be like a podcast sort of special video where I'm going to be discussing with a friend of mine, Ray or IronWolf, about a few different things such as E3 2015, of course, when it comes to Gears of War, including talking about Gears of War 4, the new game getting developed by Black Tusk Studios, the Gears of War Remastered / collection, whatever it may be, and a few other things like release dates, betas, and much more. So like I said, I'm doing this video in partnership with IronWolf, a good friend of mine known as Ray. If you want to introduce yourself, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, what up, people? It's IronWolf here to bring you this special collab video with my boy Shadowz. And yeah, we're going to be talking some Gears of War and the future Gears of War. And we're ready to bring the hype for you, Pete.
The hype game. Very, very close, man. It's nearly into single-digit days. It's just, I can't believe how quickly it's coming about. It's just mad to think about. So the first thing we're going to jump into to talk about is what we think will get announced at E3 2015. So we've talked about this previously before recording this for a long time now, because obviously we've got all the rumours and leaks happening, and it's just making the hype game to that next level. So personally, what I think is going to get announced, and Ray is probably on the same sort of lines as well with me, but I think we're going to get the Gears of War 4 announced, or whatever the new game is that Black Tusk Studios are working on and developing. We're also going to get the official announcement for this leaked Gears of War Remastered, whether it's Gears of War 1 only or a collection. We'll talk about that in a second. But I also think we could get like a sort of third project for Gears of War announced, whether it's a new game in a different genre, like a strategy game, or maybe something along the lines of new comics and books, because obviously they've done them previously to maybe introduce us into the more of the storyline of the next game. We don't know, we have no idea what's going to get announced, but Rage, if you want to quickly give your input on that.
Alright, as far as E3 goes, and as far as those leaks go, that's been happening throughout the last 2 weeks with the screenshots, off-screen screenshots with the potato phone, and then obviously we saw the HD gameplay leaked through the Xbox One game DVR, which absolutely looked amazing. You know, I mean, graphically it looked insane, and it looks like it has been made from the ground up, you know, with next generation graphics, and that's what we wanted at the end of the day. We wanted that next gen treatment for this game, and it's a special game. It's the most beloved game, you know, especially for the OGs out there. And you know, we actually analyzed on the gameplay, on where we think, you know, they made a few tweaks in there, and you spot a few differences. But other than that, I just think there's not much changed. They kept really much the core mechanics there on point, just like the original. I did speak to one of the playtesters about it, and he did confirm with me. Obviously, I cannot name the guy for his own protection, but he did say to me, that, look, you know, active downs with a long shot or with a sniper is gone. Wall cancel ain't there, and you know, he said a few other things, and you spot one other thing as well, didn't you say?
Oh, I think I did a video on this, and people who have probably watched that video will probably know what I'm talking about. But the active damage boost that you usually get when you hit the perfect active reload seems to not be in the sort of test build of the Elite gameplay we saw, but also from a different video people may or may not have seen from the test build that went live at the end of April, early May. The active reload damage boost is still not present in that build, because I had a few people tell me that maybe they haven't put it in the game yet. At that point, they're not sure, but to me, I think that is one change that has definitely been made. But Ray, what do you think in terms of games are going to get announced at E3, the actual briefing from Xbox and Black Tusk Studios?
I do have a little bit of belief that we may get some form of a collection. Now, obviously, we know that Gears of War 1 is going to be fully remastered. Judging by the map, canals we saw, it looked fully remastered. And we know that the campaign likelihood is that's going to be remastered too. And yeah, definitely Gears 1, but with 2 and 3, I pretty much doubt that'll be fully remastered. It'll probably just get the 1080p 60 frames per second treatment with a bit of, you know, improved lighting and, you know, shaders and stuff like that, which is absolutely cool. At the end of the day, you know, Gears of War 3 was a very, very popular game. Now, obviously, exactly.
It still is,
you always see like 3,000 to 4,000 people online for a game that's 4 years old, that's pretty amazing. It's overwhelming when I think about it. But yeah, I reckon we're gonna get a collection. There, but if we only get one Gears of War 1, then I guess the next Gears of War that we're gonna get, Gears of War 4, will probably be a prequel, and it will be set during the era between Gears of War 1, Gears of War 2, or even before Gears of War 1. You know, during the Emergence Day. It may be based around that.
Yeah. Maybe see the origins of something like that. Like, I think me and Ray have discussed before we were recording this video that it depends what they do with this remastered. If it literally is just Gears of War 1, it would make sense that the new Gears game is related to this Gears of War 1 time era, because we've talked about where if it was just Gears of War 1 and then they released Gears of War 4, a lot of people new to the franchise who play this Gears of War 1 remastered would be very wondering of questions like what happens to Dom and a lot of the events which take place in 2 and 3. So if they only do release this Gears of War 1, we both reckon that the next new Gears of War game experience that we're going to be getting from Black Tusk Studios is related to Gears of War 1. But if it is a collection indeed, like Ray said, if we get Gears 1 as remastered, but then we get Gears 2 and Gears 3 upscaled and just sort of visually enhanced here and there, that would definitely imply that the next Gears of War game is going to be a sequel after Gears of War 3. Now,
yeah, I could agree on that. That makes sense. Yeah. From a business standpoint, it would just make perfect sense that if we do get a collection, it's pretty safe to say that the next Gears of War will be a sequel after Gears of War 3. Yeah. Now, obviously, if we're just getting the one, then obviously it'll be during that time era. It'll probably be a prequel or something like that.
Yeah.
But according to the playtester that I spoke to, obviously I'm not going to name who he is for his own protection, but he did mention that all 3 games are getting remastered. Now, I don't know in what way he meant that, out what context. No, but then again, he's just a playtester, so yeah, that's all I'm saying about that. Can't give no more details.
When it comes to, because obviously we both know that we both reckon at least, of course, Gears of War 4 is going to get announced, or the new Gears of War gaming experience, a sort of remake, remaster, collection, whatever people want to call it, is getting announced. What do you think the potential is for like a sort of like third project or other project, whether it's a new game in a different genre, or even like, because you know when Halo had their sort of big showcase last year, they had a lot of things announced alongside the games, like they had the Halo Nightfall, they had this Steven Spielberg sort of project. Do you think there's potential for other things except the Gears of War 4 and Gears of War Remastered to get announced at E3?
Yeah, to be honest, Shadowz, I think there possibly is. I reckon we may get a mini TV series like Halo Nightfall, maybe something like a television series, something similar to what Steven Spielberg is doing. You never know, or it just could be an RTS game. Like that could be one of the side projects.
A Gears of War Halo Wars.
yeah, maybe they may even launch a Gears channel like what we have with the Halo channel. That would be pretty awesome, especially for the community. They could have many different types of content on there when it comes down to, you know, developer diaries, you know, the dev diaries that you had on those old DVDs from Gears 1 and 2. You could have some dev diaries, the history of Gears of War, you know, more things
to see,
about
like,
the
behind the scenes sort of thing.
Yeah, a lot of behind the scenes stuff and things to do with competitive, you know, esports and stuff like that. It will make perfect sense. And I think it'll be awesome. Like how we have the Halo Championship, if Microsoft invests in enough in this IP, and this is their baby now, so they own it now. It's not, it doesn't belong to Epic Games anymore. This is their IP, it's their baby, and they're gonna treat it the same way how they treat Halo. So the way I'm looking at it right now, potentially we can see a Gears of War Championship, and it'll be freaking awesome seeing that.
Hopefully Microsoft gives Gears of War the same treatment that they've given Halo since picking it up from Bungie, and so far it seems that with Black Tusk Studios and then looking at 343 Industries, it seems like Microsoft are pretty much repeating what they are doing, what they've done with 343 as a company and Black Tusk Studios. So hopefully Gears of War gets the same treatment that Halo has received from Microsoft so far. So let's quickly move on to release dates, Ray. What do you think the best release date is for this Gears of War collection or Gears of War Remastered?
Oh, well, Lee, if I'm going to give my input on this, I'd say, look, there's a few guesses. Now, you know, there's rumors going around that it could be same day download. You know, from the moment it's announced at E3, they will say it's available to download now, and that will literally break the internet. That will break Xbox Live.
Yeah, that means that it could only be 20 days until we get to play this remastered, if that was the case, you know?
I know, you never know. We may get to play it in the next 20 days, which is pretty exciting.
So option 1 is June 15th. Like, have you got any other options? What do you think?
June 15th will be the perfect day, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
And you never know, they may make it free. Now, if they make it free from a business standpoint, it would actually move hardware off the shelves into your homes. A lot of people are going to buy Xbox Ones. When they find out Gears of War is actually free, they'll run to the store. I could guarantee you that. And especially after all the games they're going to announce, all the exclusives that they have, you know what I mean? There'll be nowhere on earth. There'll be no reason not to own an Xbox One, you know what I'm saying? Because like Gears of War,
that means, because obviously we've seen how good of a Gears of War like as a franchise is when it comes to moving hardware into homes such as a console. So I don't know if the
22 million copies sold, man.
Yeah, I don't know if the community would be able to handle a Gears of War 1 remastered or a collection as free. Consoles would just be flying off the shelves, man. But
it's just an incentive to buy the console, you know what I mean? That alone. And then you know, there's rumors that Fable Legends will be available to download that very day too.
Wow, that's two.
So
big
that'll be two big megatons dropped at that very moment.
Yeah.
But then this is my other guess. They may probably charge maybe $29.99, $20, you know, £30 or whatever.
Yeah.
It won't be full retail price if it's just Gears of War 1. But if it's a collection like the Master Chief Collection,
there's possibly could be full price.
Possibly be full price, and you know that's understandable. You know, especially with all the content. You know, if they have all these modes, a lot of the maps, you know, Horde and everything like that. And think about it, there may be a few other maps from Gears 2 and Gears 3 that they may remaster too. When you think about it, because Jack Felin, she's been, you know, doing this little survey on Twitter, asking everybody's, you know, questions on what is your favorite maps on what game, and you know, people have been giving their answers. So she could be just counting all of that down, and
just gathering a lot of feedback from the community. Could be all going towards this remastered, man. Like we could see maybe the implication, well, like important maybe other content from other games. Like Gears 1 never had Horde mode, and obviously there's a lot of Horde players out there who would love to see Horde in a Gears of War 1 fashion. So yeah, it's very, very likely we could see more content added in the Gears of War 1 side of things that weren't there originally. So that's option 1 really for release dates for this Gears of War Remastered. I did talk about this in a previous video. People may have watched, I'm not too sure. But my other options for a release date rate is possibly either, well, two sort of other options they could maybe try and take on in terms of release dates and competition. Maybe release this remastered in July, because that's when it's the God of War 3 remastered for PS. Yeah, that could be a release option, or they might even go with maybe September, so they could get as close to the Christmas holiday sort of time period as possible, but without any competition going against new games. Like, of course, you've got your Call of Duty and you've got all these other mega blockbuster titles releasing, because obviously, yeah, some people just need to remember that this is a Gears of War sort of revamp, or it's not really a remake, but that's what some people calling it. So it wouldn't do as well against new titles, so that might be a good reason to try and release it in September. But yeah, go ahead with what you was about to say.
Yeah, September, what we do have, which is likelihood, is we may have Forza Motorsport 6.
Yeah.
Forza's always been like a September kind of game.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes down to last year, I think Forza Horizon 2, that was released in September. So the likelihood is that we may get Forza 6 in September as well. So maybe early September, so it doesn't really get in the way of Forza Motorsport 6. So they don't want their own exclusives competing with each other. But although they're different genres, but still, you know, they're...
Yeah, people's like, of course not everyone can buy as many games as they would love to, and sometimes people have to either choose one or the other, and hope we don't want that option to happen with Gears of War.
Yeah, so possibly September, or yeah, like I said, my guess is during the dry season, you know, during the drought, which we're going through right now.
Yeah.
Could be during the summer, and that'll be a perfect time to release a remaster, is during the summer.
What, a summer release?
Yeah, exactly. And then probably September could be like, you know, they could probably stretch it to September. But if we don't get a same day download or same day release, then maybe a beta could be available. Possibly, you never know.
What, on E3, like day one?
Day
E3?
one E3, a beta can be available. It will just make sense that way.
Yeah, I think that would probably like be better for the community overall, because obviously, if it was on Xbox One, not everyone has a console, and a lot of people would miss out on the early hype or day one hype of this Gears of War Remastered, and people might be thinking like, because obviously there's so many Gears of War fans still on the 360 who haven't upgraded because there isn't a reason to yet, and obviously if the game comes out on E3, a lot of them would probably not be able to buy an Xbox One straight away. So if they released a beta for E3, it might give people the chance to obviously play it and then give people the time to save up and get a console later in the year. But beta, let's quickly talk about a beta. What do you think a Gears of War Remastered beta, would it be campaign, or do you just think it would be multiplayer only? Like, I think it would probably be more on the side of multiplayer sort of things, with maybe like a few maps here and there and a few game modes to try out for a couple of weeks. Like, what do you think it would include?
It will be probably 2 to 3 maps max, with about 3 modes. That's about.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. It's probably like Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill,
and maybe Execution or something like that.
Yeah. That sounds perfect. Like, maybe if, I don't know, we have no idea what's going to happen, but maybe it would be pretty good for a beta to release on E3 if the actual game doesn't drop. So I think we're going to pretty much get to the end of this. The last sort of topic I wanted to talk about, being 17 minutes long so far, Ray, if you didn't know, but we wanted to quickly talk about right here at the end of this sort of podcast special video, is the storyline or the plot for Gears of War 4. Now, I've got a few ideas, I know you've got a few ideas. If you want to go first and just quickly share what you think the potential ideas could be for Gears of War.
Potential
like
ideas could be, they could go down that same route where, you know, where 343 went with Halo 4. Could be a possible new threat. At the end of the day, you have
a sequel to Gears 3.
Yeah, now with Gears of War 4, it could be like a new enemy that could be fighting, you know, beside the Locusts. It could be, you know, you never know. It could be their makers you could be fighting. You never know, because we don't know the full origins of the Locusts. So, like, what I want to know more is more about the Locusts, how, you know, how they were made, why they're here, what are their purpose. Because, look, we didn't get to know much about the Locusts during that Ram Shadow campaign in Gears of War 3, and I would like to know more about them. Hopefully, we could even see, you know, things from their perspective as well. It just makes more sense. Because there are a lot of fans out there, including myself. I'm a Locust fan.
Yeah, that's like one big question. So it makes more
sense for the Locust fans out there.
Yeah, that's one big question the Gears of War community has been waiting to be officially answered for so long. Like, I know a lot of people out there have tried to pick up the pieces of the puzzle and try put it together on how the origins, but if we literally got a game explaining it to us, I think that would be perfect for the community. So my quick ideas and thoughts of the Gears of War 4 storyline, like me and Ray were saying earlier, it all depends on this Gears of War Remastered collection. So if they go with just a Gears of War 1 like release, a remake, remaster for Xbox One, I reckon the storyline for Gears of War 4 could be set around sort of the end of the Pendulum Wars, with maybe characters like Adam Phoenix, Helena Stroud, who is Anya Stroud's mother, and a lot of the comic characters, that fan favorite comic characters. But if we see like a collection, I reckon the storyline, like I agree with what you're saying, Ray, we could see the origins of the Locust and how they came to be within like a Gears of War 4, a sequel after Gears of War 3. Probably even see like a time skip between Gears of War 3 and a sequel, because of, if we all think back to the end of Gears of War 3 and how the game ended, humanity was pretty much 99.9% extinct. All of the resources have been used up, food, water, everything the humanity just needs to survive on is pretty much gone. So it'd probably take a little while.
I just think there's a obviously for the Locusts, there must be a higher power for them, because when you look at the Countesses, they obviously worship something. They're like priests. They're priests and they worship, they pray towards something, and we want to know what that is. It could be anything. Do you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure that they have makers, and obviously they may want to come and avenge the Locusts for them being wiped out. They may have some advanced technology that they want to destroy the humans for what they've done, you know, to the locusts. You never know. That's the route that they could take, but obviously that's just my guess. It may not be that way, but it'll be a cool idea. But there's one thing there's one subject I did want to touch, going back to the collection before we close this video. Now, like Gears, you know, if they do add Gears of War 2 and Gears of War 3, if they port them over, you know, I mean, not much resources will be needed as it runs on the x86 architecture and DirectX, which makes it faster and more easier to develop, you know, all these games. It runs on the same architecture, and they do have, you know, PC builds of all these games in their archive. So, you know, you don't need that much resources for that. So, you know, people that are saying that it's going to require all these resources, no, it's not going to require that. You know what I mean? Yeah, for Gears of War 1, the remaster, that would require some resources. And then, obviously, according to rumors, it's Splash Damage that's working on this game.
You never know, man. Hopefully. But I think we're going to wrap it up here. That is pretty much our Gears of War road to E3. This is such a crazy moment for the Gears of War franchise and the community that it's built up since the debut release of the first game in 2006. There's so many questions to be answered with the current Gears games when it comes to the storyline. And because Microsoft and Black Tusk Studios have literally shared nothing officially yet, we have no idea what to expect. That's why I wanted to do this sort of video, just have a quick good discussion with my good friend IronWolf, because we always talk a lot about Gears of War and what could possibly happen. We just wanted to share the experience with you guys, and as you can tell, there's just so much to talk about, so much to speculate on and theory talk. It's mind-blowing, because I have no idea what to expect, and the only thing I know is I reckon we're going to get something awesome. Like, the franchise is going to be taken to the next step. If there's any like last words you want to say at the end of this video, Ray?
Yeah, so basically, as there may be some of my subscribers out there that don't know, there will be some that, you know, that do watch all my videos that probably know that I've been invited by Microsoft to this year's E3. Now, obviously, yeah, I've been given this invite kind of like at short notice. But then, understandably, like, if I was told back in March, it wouldn't be an issue, you know what I mean? I would able to, you know, raise my funds and go there at my own accord. But obviously, I don't want to miss this, because this will be like the rebirth. I want to witness the rebirth of Gears of War at this year's E3.
Yeah, this is definitely the reintroduction of the Gears of War franchise. So you've actually got like is it a GoFundMe sort of page running at the moment, if you want to just quickly talk about that?
I have a GoFundMe program running. I'm going to leave the link on the description. So at the end of the day, I have a chance to provide you guys with all the interviews, all the exclusives, all the content I possibly can, you know, for Gears of War or any other Xbox exclusive. Yeah. And, you know, any donation towards it will be appreciated. All that will go to is towards my flight going there, really. The rest I can take care of. Yeah. But yeah, you know, it would be really appreciated if you could do that. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it as that.
Like I said, if you guys, if any of you are watching this on my channel, there will be a link down below in the description to Ray or IronWolf's GoFundMe page. And like he said, he got told very, very short notice indeed. We're only 20 days away as we're recording this video on the 25th of May. So we're very, very close to E3. Any donations or any support from you guys to IronWolf's GoFundMe, link down below in the description. I really do appreciate if you guys can contribute. I know not everybody can, and that's okay, you know, but if you can, it would be a big, big pleasure.
I've already raised 300 right now. My goal is to actually reach 900. So I've got 301, so I basically need 599. So even if 599 people who possibly watching this put in £1 each, that's my flight sorted, man. You know what I mean? Every little helps at the end of the day, man.
Like I said, link down below in the description if you guys do want to contribute and help out a fellow Gears gamer. Get over there to E3, because if you guys have watched a video on my channel as well just before this one, 10 people actually got selected to go to E3 by Black Tusk, but unfortunately it was everyone from the US and it was United States participants only. So if we could try and band together and get IronWolf over to the US of A and to go to E3 to represent the UK and the Europe community, of course, that would be a very, very good thing. As a community, we can all band together and help this great cause. So that will, like I said earlier, be linked down below in the description, as well as IronWolf's YouTube channel. If you want to go over to his channel and subscribe, he's got a lot of great content. Of course, he very is a big supporter of Gears of War, because I know a lot of you guys watch my Gears of War content, but he also does other videos as well on other Xbox exclusives and in general just Xbox content. He's also got a few podcasts running, just a lot of great content and entertaining content for you guys to definitely check out. So I think we're going to end it here. This has been the Gears of War Road to E3 sort of podcast video. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and also check out IronWolf. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and as always, I shall see you on the next one.